All right, today we're headed to the ancient city of Sardis to unpack a pretty chilling message from the book of Revelation. We're talking about a message to the church there, all about a reputation that was, believe it or not, so good it was actually deadly.
I mean, can a reputation actually kill you? It sounds super dramatic, right? But that's the real heart of this ancient letter. Can you look alive on the outside, but be masking a fatal decay on the inside? Well, for the church in Sardis, the answer was a big, resounding yes. So let's dive in and figure out why. Okay, so to really get this message, you've got to understand the city itself. See, Sardis wasn't just some random town. No. It was a symbol of prosperity and power, this city with a truly golden reputation. But you know how it goes. Not all that glitters is gold, and that was definitely the case here. I mean, the scale of Sardis's success was just huge. Think about it. It's sitting at the crossroads of 5 major trade routes. That made it this incredibly wealthy hub, famous for its luxury goods. So to anyone looking from the outside, Sardis looks like the absolute definition of strength and power.
But here's the twist. Despite that impressive exterior, the character of Sardis, totally different story. People at the time described it as having this inner softness, this kind of corruption that was just rotting the city from the inside out. All that strength, it was just a facade, a reputation that absolutely did not match reality. And you know, this internal weakness actually had a devastating physical counterpart. At one point, the city was completely shattered by a massive earthquake and then hit with a pestilence. Now, they rebuilt it, sure, but that memory of a sudden, total collapse, it lingered. This was a city that knew firsthand what it felt like to fall apart. And that brings us right to the church in Sardis. Because, get this, the spiritual state of the believers there was a perfect, almost unsettling mirror of the city they lived in. They had the big reputation, they had the history, but the foundation, it was crumbling. This right here is the core accusation, and it is just brutal. You have a name that you are alive, but you are dead. Can you even imagine hearing that? Here's a church with this great reputation. It looks active, it looks vibrant, but spiritually, it was a corpse. The parallel here is just so striking. Just like the city of Sardis was rebuilt but kind of hollow, the church had this reputation for being alive but was spiritually dead. It was just coasting on its past glories right into a complacent present. In all its works, they looked good on the surface, but as we're about to find out, they were totally incomplete.
So what does it even mean for their works to be not perfect? This is the crucial part. It doesn't mean they were out there doing terrible things. It means their good deeds, their religious activities, they were hollow. They were just going through the motions. The actions were missing that genuine faith, that inner devotion that gives them any real substance in God's eyes. They were incomplete.
So when you get a diagnosis like spiritually dead, what's next? Well, the message doesn't just leave them there. It hits them with a set of super urgent life or death commands, and then one of the starkest warnings you'll find anywhere in the text. The prescription is basically a 3-step plan. Step 1, be watchful. In other words, wake up from your spiritual nap. Step 2, strengthen what remains. Go find those last few flickering embers of real faith that are about to go out and save them. And finally, step 3, repent. Remember what you believed in the first place and turn back to it for real. And what if they don't do all that? Well, the warning is that judgment will come suddenly, completely unexpectedly, like a thief in the night. Now, for a city that was so proud of its defenses but had actually been conquered by surprise attacks in the past, that image would have been absolutely chilling. This was a direct shot. Your complacency is going to be your downfall. But wait, the story doesn't just end there in condemnation. Even in this dying church, there's a glimmer of hope. The spotlight shifts now, away from the dead majority, and onto the faithful few who actually resisted all that decay. Right in the middle of all this spiritual corruption, a small group was holding on. The message says they have not defiled their garments, which is just this powerful picture of staying spiritually pure, even when everything around you is compromised. They were literally the living among the dead. And for this faithful few, the promises are just profound. Check this out. They get to walk with Christ in white, a symbol of total purity. Their names, unlike their old, dead reputation, will be locked into the book of life permanently. And get this, Christ himself will personally confess their names before the Father.
I mean, that's a promise of eternal security and honor that makes all the fading wealth of Sardis look like, well, nothing. And so the message ends with this call that echoes all the way down to us today. It's a challenge, really. In our world of social media profiles and carefully crafted public personas, it really forces you to ask, right? Is my own reputation, the one that says I'm alive, is it real? Or is it just a really well-maintained facade, hiding something on the inside that's actually slowly dying? That's a question worth listening to.